Welcome to the Crypto Domain, your front row seat to crypto's biggest moves. I'm fired up for today's show. We're going to dive into game-changing Bitcoin event, the 5 tokens dominating X right now, the 4 must-know news stories, plus a full market breakdown, the key indicators, crypto sectors to watch, from wild X posts to insider facts. Are you ready to get on the 2025 crypto surge? Let's get started. Okay, so let's kick off with the biggest crypto event of the week. Obviously, it's the Bitcoin 2025 conference, which just wrapped up at the Venetian in Las Vegas. This was no ordinary crypto meetup though. There were over 35,000 attendees. There were 500 speakers and a historic vibe made it the biggest Bitcoin event ever. So what went down? Well, you had Vice President JD Vance. He stole the show with a keynote, becoming the first sitting VP to publicly back Bitcoin. He pushed the Trump administration's pro-crypto agenda, hyping the Genius Act for stablecoin legislation and a strategic Bitcoin reserve, saying stablecoins are a force multiplier for the US economy. X posts absolutely lit up, calling it a heavyweight summit. Other big names there, like Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and even the Brexit leader, Nigel Farage, added star power. So the conference wasn't just talk. You had major announcements dropped as well. You had Senator Cynthia Lummis revealing a Bitcoin Act bill to buy 1 million BTC for the US Reserve, hitting Congress soon. Now, we knew about it, but it will hit Congress soon. You had Block Inc. piloting real-time Bitcoin payments via Square, and Tether's Lightning Network integration sparking buzz for BTC Fi and Layer 2 growth. But just be careful, right? Because Bitcoin did hit 111, nearly 112K just before the event. Yet past conferences, so the Nashville conference in 2024, we did see a pullback after that. Now, Galaxy Research noted that it was a 20% drop after the 2024 Nashville event. So is the pullback that we're seeing now, is this what we should be expecting to see after the event based on what we've seen last year? Potentially. Okay, so next up we have the top 5 trending tokens on X for the week. So first up we have Hype or Hyperliquid. Now, it's been topping the charts. We've really seen that move over the last couple of weeks especially. Now, in X, it's got the highest mentions. It's got a 91 out of 100 sentiment score, driven by its dominance in the DeFi discussions. Now, why is it trending, you might think? Hyperliquid's Hype token, it's surging with a massive airdrop of 310 million tokens to 94,000 users. Now, that was back in November. Then in April of this year, we had the Hyper EVM launch, and that enabled Ethereum-compatible apps. So X posts highlighted its 260% price increase since November 2024, which was when the airdrop was. It peaked at a price of $39.96 with a current trading value around that $36 mark as at the time of this recording. Now, the community excitement around the airdrop farming and its fast DeFi DEX narrative, it does like 100,000 orders a second or something like that. That's been really fueling that hype. So it's something that you really want to keep an eye on. And it's leading the mind share and potential for a 2x move by the summer, people are saying. I don't give price predictions on this channel. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would advise to do your own research. Check out Hyperliquid. It's really moving. It does have a lot going for it. Watch the video I did yesterday on it. It'll really give you some good insights and help you do your own research on that. So next up we have PEPE. Now, it's second in the mentions with a strong positive sentiment driven by its Memecoin community and the cultural momentum behind it. Why is it trending? Like, PEPE remains a fan favorite, right? It's been popular for quite a while due to its viral community and speculative trading. X posts emphasize its role in the Memecoin mega cycle that people are looking forward to or hoping will come through. Its positive sentiment stems from its 6th place ranking in Luna Crush's social activity data and ongoing community engagement on X. So despite no major price movements or events this week, it's still really, really popular and trending very, very highly on X. So another one to keep an eye on, because remember, community is such a massive influence on the price and what's going to happen with a lot of these projects as we move into that bull run. So Keep an eye on those meme coins. They've got massive communities around them, and PEPE is one of the leaders in that front. Now, speaking of meme coins, next up we have Fcoin. So that's third, and I've been mentioning this since I started the channel. It's just always been popping up on the crypto bubbles continuously, popping up as a high mover in the top 100. Look, it's third in the mentions with high engagement, again, due to its humorous branding, the community behind it, that meme coin appeal that you get with these tokens. So why is it trending? It's a newer meme coin as well. So we know that these things can tend to go in cycles as well. It's climbing the mindshare charts as well with all the crypto community in general. Thanks to its quirky name, the community-driven hype behind it, the X posts are highlighting its viral marketing and speculative trading as well, which is quite big in that space. Though the specific price data is a little bit scarce on this one. The token's rise reflects the broader meme coin frenzy, it being one of the newer ones, with users drawn to the lighthearted narrative and the potential for quick gains. As we know, the fart token is often found quite amusing, and it fits right into that meme coin narrative, right, and the fun around those that people are looking for. Now, number 4 out of these 5 top trending tokens on X is Virtual. So it's got steady mentions. It's got positive sentiment as well, tied to its DeFi and Web3 utility. Why is it trending? Well, Virtual's gaining traction for its role in the emerging DeFi ecosystem, which we know DeFi is starting to have a bit of a run as a category again. The X posts, again, they praise its consistent presence in the discussions around the X, driven by the community that support it, and the potential integrations into Web3 platforms that we can see potentially coming up for it. While specific price movements, again, I don't want to go into detail around that, but its stability in the mindshare rankings suggests growing user confidence and long-term interest in this one. So that's another one. I'll be doing a review of this token either this week or next, more than likely, purely based on the sentiment and the fact that people are really interested in it. So I'll be having a bit of a deep dive into this and hopefully posting a video on it. So, subscribe down below if you're interested in seeing that. It will be over the next either week or 2 weeks that I'll be posting that. Okay, and finally we have number 5 of the top 5 tokens through sentiment on X for the week, and it's Cato. Okay, so with its rising mentions fueled by the high-profile campaign and AI-driven DeFi narrative, we know AI is a big narrative, we know DeFi is a big narrative. Put those two together, you're going to get some mentions on X, right? Cato is trending due to the 6 million mindshare farming campaign that it's had. It's boosting its visibility on X posts, right? They're highlighting its AI-powered DeFi applications. It's attracting speculative traders, tech enthusiasts. The token's climb in mention, it reflects the community's excitement over its innovative tokenomics and potential partnerships. So this is another one to keep an eye on. Again, as always, do your own research, but that's your top 5 tokens by sentiment on X for the week. So you had Hyperliquid, you had PEPE, you had Fcoin, you had Virtuals, and you had Cato. Okay, so let's move on to some of the major news articles for the week. We'll start with Circle's 6.7 billion share offering. Now, Circle, who are the issuer of the USDC token, they've launched a 24 million share public offering, with BlackRock eyeing a 10% stake in that. Now, that signals robust institutional faith in stablecoins. As I said, it's valued at 6.7 billion. So the move strengthens USDC's role in DeFi and payments. For investors, this could boost stablecoin adoption, but it also raises a question about market concentration. Now, X posts are buzzing about this with the optimism and their citing Circle's New York Stock Exchange filing. Now, what are the investor implications? Well, I guess it signals stablecoin growth. So watch for that USDC liquidity, any shifts in that as we move through this cycle. Just keep an eye out for that sort of stuff. Now, a few people have probably been following this over the last week. Next up, we have the James wins 99 million Bitcoin liquidation on Hyperliquid. Now, in summary, Hyperliquid trader James Wynn, he lost 99 million to 100 million when his 1.25 billion 40x leveraged Bitcoin long position was liquidated on May the 30th. So as Bitcoin dipped below 105K, he lost the whole lot. Now, what we're seeing around X and the posts and the buzz and, the high stakes loss, it's tied to Trump's tariff threats. So obviously they've had an impact on the broader economy and the broader market. It's not the only thing pulling down that token, and I'll go into that a bit later as well. Now, the investors should note Bitcoin's volatility and leverage risks, especially post-conference. That's one of the things we need to be thinking about as well. This whale's wipeout, it signals the caution for leverage trading. I never ever leverage trade. I'm more the long-term DCA investor. I don't do the trading. Investors' implications, it highlights BTC price risks. So avoid over-leveraged bets. Honestly, just be really, really careful out there. I know a lot of people like to trade. They like to use leverage. Go at it. You do you. Not for me, but just be careful with it. Now, next up, another big story that's been going around this week is the Trump media's 2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury raise. So Trump media, they announced a 2.5 billion Bitcoin purchase to integrate the BTC into Truth Social as well. Is going to be part of it from what I've read. Now, that could include subscription payments. It could include a utility token. Don't know all the details on that, but that's something to keep an eye on as well. Noted excitement, though, has been flagged. It's a conflict of interest risk tied to Trump's influence. Again, as the president of the United States, there is that conflict of interests. We'll see how this plays out. It's a bit like the Trump meme coin. There's a lot that people need to be careful of there. Investors may see some short-term BTC demand on the back of this. But look, with the other things that are driving a bit of a pullback, the tariffs, the pullback on the back of the conference as well, Vegas. We saw that last time in 2024 with the conference that was in Nashville. We saw a pullback on the back of that. We see a pullback on the back of the Golden Cross. So, none of this, again, like I said last week, none of this is really massively surprising. But, these sorts of things all in the long term will help boost Bitcoin's adoption. But you've got to monitor all of the policy risks and the regulations and things like that are going to play out around this as well, I think. Now, the final news article for the week, who doesn't love a good GameStop story, right? So it's along the same theme, I guess, in buying Bitcoin for the balance to put on the balance sheet. So GameStop, they've also done that now. They've purchased 4,710 Bitcoin. I think it was 512 million it cost them. So, which initially saw a bit of a rally in their price, but we have since seen a pullback over the last few days in that GameStop price. So we'll see how that plays out. We are definitely getting a lot more institutional interest, a lot more institutional investment, and a lot more companies putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So, for me, long term, very positive. Another positive story for the long term crypto market and the bull run that I still believe we're going to see play out over the next probably 6 months, 5 to 6 months, something like that. Okay, so let's have a look at the market now. We'll move on to the indicators and the categories and that as well. We can see here that the market cap's at 3.35, so only 3.4 trillion. You've got a volume of 141 billion. BTC dominance is at 61.5%. Now we know we are having that little bit of a pullback on the BTC, and I'll go into that in a second. If we just look down, and remember we're looking at the 7-day today. This is the weekly, but there is a lot of red in the market. Okay, so Cardano 12%, Doge is down 17%. We've got a few 14s around with Shiba and Hedera, 19% Monero, 17% BitGet, 19% PEPE. So everything's getting hit at the moment. With 16% for NEAR, Casper's down 23.7%, so that's a massive decrease for Casper. Render's at 21% down. Bonk at 26. Fcoin 30%. We have seen some big rises in that over the last, month and a bit though, but 30% down. So yeah, a lot of movement in the week in the red. Really, what's bucking the trend? You got Quant is up 8%. If you're a Quant holder, well done. But yeah, not a lot. What I did want to go into though with this red and the fear that you're starting to see in the market and you're starting to see on X, a couple of things we need to be conscious of at this time. One of them is we've had the tariff move by Trump with China. I wouldn't be taking anything to the bank because that changes from one day to the next. Okay, so I don't see that as a massive deciding factor for me as a longer term. If you're day trading or whatever, then obviously there's going to be an impact there. But again, I don't do that, so I'm fine. I'm looking long term. I'm looking to the back end of the year. The other thing I'd look at is, as we discussed, right, the golden cross. So we know when we get the golden cross, we get a pullback, okay? So we got a golden cross a week or so ago. We are seeing pullbacks, okay? So again, not too unusual. The biggest event we've just had is the Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas. Now, if we look at Bitcoin and we go back to July last year, and it was the 25th to the 27th, I think the conference was, okay? So out here we can see a bit of an increase early on, bit similar. Then we had this pullback after the conference. So is this the same? Are we getting that same pullback after the conference? Potentially. But these are things we need to be aware of when we're thinking about the overall market in the longer term. Are we in a bull run or are we not in a bull run? For me, I'm thinking these pullbacks are just part of the cycle at the moment. There's, again, nothing unusual in the pullback after the conference, nothing unusual in a pullback after the Golden Cross, and then the Trump implication with the tariffs and that. So, let's continue to see how this plays out. But at the moment, I'm not going to start jumping at shadows. The other thing, let's have a look at the crypto bubbles. So this is the 1 to 100. We are on the weekly, all red, right? Predominantly all red. Now we do have the white token. Now the white token, which is White Rock, again, it's built on XRP. So it's an institutional grade RWA. And we know that there's quite a narrative around those RWAs at the moment, right? It's the native gas token on the L1 White network, which is built on that XRP. It's surged massively, right? Even for the week, it's up 84.7. On the day, we've seen it come down, but not as much as the other ones. On the month, it's still at 80%, right? But for the week, it's 84.7%. So we are seeing a little bit of a pullback on the back of it. The trading volume has spiked massively. So that's going to be big news for anyone out there that might be holding the white token. But be careful, right? Because part of the rumors around that is a partnership with Saudi Aramco or something like that. It is. I can't remember the exact name, but it's around oil. So RWA, tokenizing oil. So there's a rumor around that. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I know it was floating around on X. So if you are thinking about that, make sure you do your own research. Make sure you always confirm rumors because, last cycle I saw so many rumors that just made things pump and then dump when they turned out not to be true. So now if we want to have a quick look at the CoinGecko top 20 trading coins. So Hyperliquid, as I said, I did a video on that yesterday. Check that out. It goes into the depth about the project, all the categories I look at when I'm thinking about investing in a project. But we know that's been pretty big. It was in the top 5. Well, it was number 1 in the top 5 X trending tokens as well. So not unusual. Virtual was also one of those tokens. So that's not unusual as well. You got SWE up there as normal. You got PEPE, which was also one of those trending tokens on X. What else? We got Potenza, you got Ondo, RWAs, and AI. Bitcoin, obviously, you'd expect that to be there with the conference going on at the moment. So, yeah, that's the top 20 trending tokens for CoinGecko. Okay, so now let's just have a quick look at the indicators. Now, the indicators, I mean, one of the reasons as well I don't feel like we have seen the top of this market is the fact that none of the indicators have hit. It's not like one of them's hit or two of them have hit. None of them have hit where you would expect them to hit if we'd seen the top of this market. None of these indicators anyway, the indicators I'm using. Now, if we have a look, we can see Bitcoin dominance is actually up on the week. Up slightly, it was at 61 to 61.3. You've also got Ethereum up as well. The market cap is slightly down. The volume's down. It was 167 billion, I think, last week. So that's down slightly. Monthly returns, still in the green for the month. They are down from last week, though. We're at 11.8% last week, so they're down to 7.5. The Coinbase app ranking dropped dramatically. That was at 240 last week, I think. It's down to 330, so that's quite a big drop in the week. Fear and Greed is now at 50. So yesterday was at 60. Last week we're at 66, so it's now down to 60. So it's dropped even 50. Sorry, it's dropped even further. The net ETF flows. Now, if we have a quick look at those, the source for this is farside.co.uk. Now, we can see you have Memorial Day on the 26th of May. You've then had a couple of positive days leading into the Bitcoin conference and that. Then we've seen the week finish on negative. Not sure if the data is closed out for the 30th of May yet or not. So I've used this data here for the table, for the dashboard, which shows 286 million net inflows into the ETFs for the week. If we look across our other indicators, we can see they're all in the red. Not massive moves, but more than usual, definitely. More than usual, we've seen those move down into the red. So, look, overall, nothing I'm seeing here I wouldn't expect to after the week that we've had and the red we've had. Okay, let's take a quick look at the categories for the week. We can see everything's in the red, which, we already know that. Memes have taken the biggest hit for the week, so they're down 15.4%. They've had a really good run over the last month or so. So, they're having the biggest pullback at the moment. Exchanges appear to be the ones that have had the least impact, although they're still down 1.6%. Compared to everything else, they're not down as much. It's quite interesting to see, like the market cap across the board has pulled back. However, if we look at stable coins, their market caps increased slightly. We really want to see that come back a bit if we're going to really hit that alt season that we're all waiting for. But look, overall, red as we'd expect, with memes doing the worst for the week and the exchanges, holding the best as we've come through this week. Okay, what an information-filled show we've had. Big week in crypto. So we covered the Bitcoin 2025 conference. We covered the top 5 tokens that are trending on X. We've covered the big news articles for the week. We've covered the market, the categories, the indicators, all the big news. Look, at the end of the day, I'm still very positive around Bitcoin, around the altcoins, around the bull market in general. Still feel it's going to come in Q4 of this year. Nothing has changed that for me at the moment. The pullback that we're seeing, I know there's a lot of FUD out there. I know a lot of people are worried and scared. Look, long term, I don't think it's going to be anything to worry about. If you're a day trader, maybe there's a bit more of an issue for you. But for long-term investors, I think just stay the course. Hodl your tokens, stay the course, look towards the back end of the year. We haven't seen any of the indicators hit yet that would normally signal a top or a good way into the bull run. So look, comment below, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button for more insights, click that bell notification so you get notified when I release my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.